Welcome to r/slash idontworkherelady, where we share stories about normal people who are actual customers that are mistaken for employees at that establishment. This is TNA, top-notch audio. Get ready for some laughs. And at the end of these stories, we definitely appreciate your likes, comments, and definitely subscribe for sure. And this next story is posted by u/giraffe-in a boat. How dare I mess up Karen's milkshake? Context: I live in a major city in my country, though out of the fray of tourist attractions. My boyfriend at the time, we were both around 15 when the story took place, we've been broken up for several years now, worked in a high-end touristy neighborhood for a large ice cream chain, as pay tended to be much better in this area. The people who frequent the shops there are either very wealthy or are tourists, though occasionally middle-class locals would venture in for a little fun. We had been dating for 6 months, apparently a very big deal to our freshman year of high school selves, so we decided to be a little fancy and go out in this area of town for a nice lunch and a walk down on the waterfront. We didn't dress up too crazy, but I was wearing a nicer outfit since it was a special occasion. He even gifted me a necklace, and it was a really lovely afternoon. Well, it was a really lovely afternoon. We decided to stop into the ice cream shop where he had worked to say hi to his coworker friend. Only one person was working, despite it being a pretty busy area, as it was a weekday. We chat with her for a bit. She was a woman in her mid-30s, and she gives us each a free ice cream cone. It was nice, and I was very dazzled by his work perks. We say goodbye, and my boyfriend and I decide to shop around after finishing our ice cream, admiring all the fancy clothes we would buy if we had the funds. We're trying on some goofy clothes and taking funny photos, typical high school fun, when he gets a phone call. It's his coworker, and she says we have to come back right away. He's trying to tell her he has the day off and we're out on a date, but she insists it's an emergency and we're the only people nearby. So we go back to the ice cream shop. It actually was an emergency. The freezer in the back that held all of their stock, nearly $10,000 worth of ice cream in giant tubs, this place was a huge operation, had broken and the ice cream was beginning to melt. She had to go to the regional warehouse to get a company freezer van to salvage what they could, as they were losing money by the second. The catch: she wanted us to work the store and business was starting to pick up. They found a company shirt for me to wear that was so big I was practically swimming in it, and decided that even though I had no understanding of how anything worked and had never even had a job before, it was perfectly okay for me to work the counter. And before you say I was technically working there, I never got paid for the couple of hours I was working and really was not qualified to be representing the brand. The location later shut down. There were a lot of subpar business practices happening there that contributed. So, with two 15-year-olds in charge, the manager heads out and the people start to flow in. Again, I have zero training and my boyfriend is stuck on the register, so I'm scrambling trying to figure out which ice cream is which, as behind the counter there are no flavor labels. I just try to tell people I'm new or just helping out for the day, and most people are pretty cool and accepting of this and don't mind the couple of extra minutes it was taking me to serve them. Keyword: most. Enter Karen. I later ended up working at different luxury ice cream store later in my high school career and learned to spot the dreaded beast, but my sweet summer child, naive baby self had no clue. She looked very typical of someone who was a native of our area, very businessy and clean cut, well put together with a permanent scowl painted across her lips. She came up to me and seemed nice at first. She complimented the song I was playing and even did a little dance. This put me at ease. She seemed so cool. She ordered her milkshake, the first non-ice cream cone order of the day. As she was the only customer in the store at the moment, my boyfriend walks me through how to make it. I don't know why he didn't just make it and spare me her wrath, but oh well. We don't bother explaining I'm new or anything, since we figure she'll put the two and two together with how he's explaining to me how to make it. It takes me a while to make it and find everything, as I didn't work there, but eventually I finished the milkshake and it actually looked pretty good. I give it to her and she gets really weird. She walks toward the register, sipping slowly. My BF rings her up and Karen, K, stops drinking it. K: I'm not paying for this. BF, I'm sorry? K, it's too thick. It's like she doesn't even know how to make a milkshake. Well, to be fair, I didn't. BF, I'm sorry, ma'am. She is new and still learning. K, well, she's incompetent and I'm not paying for this. I could see my BF getting frustrated and I felt tears pricking out the corner of his eyes. He tells her she has already drank the beverage, so she has to pay. Begrudgingly, she obliges. She walks toward the door, hovers there, takes another sip, walks back to the register. K, this is ridiculous. I want a refund. BF, I'm sorry, I can't do that, but I can have her remake it. K, fine, but I don't want that girl making it. My BF, annoyed, makes her a new milkshake the exact same way I had made mine. She seemed pleased with the one he made and left us with no tip, just a snide comment as she walked out. K, you really should fire that girl, and I'm leaving you both a bad review. We watched her walk out the window, drinking from both milkshakes. We decided to close the shop at that point and wait for the manager. I then got my nice clothes, hair, skin covered in chocolate ice cream melt as we helped her load up the freezer van to take the ice cream to the warehouse. Not really a conventional I don't work here lady, as I really did look like an employee, but I still can't believe, 1, that the manager thought it was okay for me to represent the store and actually work, 2, how passive aggressive and rude the Karen was, 3, that I never got paid and we never got to finish our date. Sad face. And this next story is posted by u/anonymous tech guy 6542. No, really, I don't work here anymore. So this was a few years ago. I worked for a large company as IT support and have moved on to bigger and better things for reasons that you can learn if you care enough to read my old posts. I'm about a month into the new job. Same basic commute, but a lot more money and room to advance. Now, I'm not saying the old employer was cheap, but they stopped providing cell phones about a year before I moved on and expected us to use our personal phones for on-call, so I still had the same number. About 11 p.m. on a Friday, my phone rings. Not a huge deal because I don't sleep much. Hello? Hi, this is Ashish from NetOps. Name changed. Are you in the office? We're supposed to replace a switch tonight. Wow, okay. Someone didn't get the memo. I no longer work for large IT contractor. Can you remove this number from your on-call? He apologized and hung up. Funny story to tell the wife the next morning. Around 1 a.m., another call. Different number and area code. Overseas NetOps used our internal phone system and their location was random. I should point out that if this weren't Friday, I would have been a lot less tolerant since I was waking up for work around 5:30 a.m. at the time. Hello? Much more bleary this time. Are you in the office? Different voice. Never said their name. Sorry, bud. I told the last guy I don't work with you anymore. Okay. Do you know who's on call? Haven't worked there in more than a month. Why don't you call Bob? Which is not the name of my old boss, but works in a pinch. I'm not 100% on what exactly the guy on the phone was going to say, just the tone set me off. He started actually arguing with me, and about 2 words into his response, I cut him off. No, it's the middle of the night. I did not work for or with you in any capacity, and I'm telling you right now, if you call back, I'm going to call Steve, his boss, and make sure you're not hearing the end of this. I hung up on him. Honestly, if I were thinking, I would have turned the ringer off since at the time I wasn't on the hook for after hours work, but I've been on call for so long it honestly never occurred to me. 1:30 rings again, this time from someone on my contact list. It's Steve. Hey Steve, I say, guessing you heard from NetOps. Yeah, what the heck's going on? He does not sound happy to be awake and having to manage any more than I am at having to tell people to F off. Okay, so I don't know how Bob dropped this ball, but I put in my 2 weeks notice 2 months ago. I'm working at another company, but my name's still on the on-call rotation with your people, and whoever called me last didn't seem to accept that I'm no longer an employee. What? Steve sounds incredulous. He told me you were verbally abusive and insubordinate. You're darn right I was. First off, I don't like being woken up at 1 a.m. and getting yelled at unless someone's going to pay me overtime for it. And second off, even if I were still working there, I was not a subordinate of anyone in NetOps. As far as that goes, your guy was just yelling at a complete stranger. All right, I'll straighten this out, Steve sighs. Sorry for the trouble. Do me a favor and go over the call recordings. A couple of your guys aren't communicating, and one of them definitely wasn't listening. You know that's been a problem before. I was alluding to issues being fixed twice due to lack of communication and their techs not listening to boots on the ground, causing equipment damage in the past. Steve signed off, and I finally got some sleep. Never heard specifics about what happened afterwards, though Steve was not the type to let things like that go, and I know Bob got an earful of it because the next call would have had him on the hook for a job being started at a minimum of 4 hours late, or more likely being pushed back a day. No great justice here, just a really annoying night. And this story is posted by u/Eva_White. I'm not a working girl. So, when I was 22, I moved to Las Vegas for college and to escape my dysfunctional family. Every so often, my friends would come visit and we go to the Strip. One such friend would come every few months to gamble, like a lot, so the dealers would get to know him quickly. I should add that before I moved away, we were friends with benefits. This is important for later. Now, he's also just a naturally friendly and talkative guy. He can talk to anyone for hours about anything. He's also a very affectionate person, so some people can confuse that with flirting. The night before I met up with him, he was gambling at a craps table. Some working girls, aka hookers, were being flirty and friendly with him because they saw he was spending and winning a lot of money. He didn't realize what was going on because he was just being his chatty, friendly self. Security recognized these girls and noticed what was going on, so they were trespassed from the hotel, which happens all the time in Vegas. The night that I met up with him, I pulled out all the stops. Sexy dress, knee-high boots, all made up, etc. Going to the Strip was a fun excuse to get all dolled up. Now, I'm in no way a skinny girl, but I know how to dress appropriately for my size and accentuate what I've got. We would still hook up when he came to visit, so we were still very affectionate when we saw each other. We were drinking and bar hopping at different bars in one upscale hotel. Then he wanted to hit a craps table. I can't remember if he went to the same dealer or same section, but he was doing his thing and I was hanging all over him being my drunk self. Security was apparently watching us and I raised some red flags. They thought I was a hooker. Security approached us and asked him some questions about me. My friend assured them we were friends from back home and they went on their way. We still laugh about it to this day because I never would have thought I looked like a working girl. This has been TNA Top Notch Audio. Please like, comment, share, subscribe for sure. And we look forward to more videos for you and your enjoyment in the future.